I never imagined a day would come when the life I thought I knew would collapse in an instant. My wife and I had been married for 5 years. We shared a home, routines, responsibilities, and memories that I thought were unshakable. I trusted her completely, or at least I thought I did. She was beautiful, confident, and magnetic, the kind of person people naturally gravitate toward. I, in contrast, was quiet, reserved, steady, content to live a life of stability and consistency. I believed that was enough. It all started on an ordinary evening. I had just returned home from work, tired but looking forward to a quiet dinner together. The house was unusually quiet. No laughter, no music, nothing. A strange unease crawled over me as I walked through the door, my instincts suddenly alert. Something felt off. I called her name, expecting the usual greeting, the familiar sound of her voice responding warmly. There was no answer. I stepped further inside, and that's when I saw it. A scene that would shatter the calm facade of my life. She was there, legs up on the kitchen counter, laughing with a man I didn't recognize. At first, I froze. My mind refused to process what I was seeing. It didn't make sense. How could this be happening in my own home, right under my nose? The casual intimacy between them was undeniable. The familiarity, the closeness. It wasn't just a friendly visit. For a moment, I considered turning around and walking away, pretending I hadn't seen anything. Denial felt safer, less painful. But then something inside me shifted. I couldn't ignore it. I couldn't pretend it wasn't real. I had to face the truth, no matter how devastating. I cleared my throat, and they both froze. Her smile faltered, the kind of smile that suddenly reveals guilt. The man's eyes widened, caught in the act, caught off guard by my presence. The silence that followed was thick, charged with tension. My mind raced, every scenario playing out at once. Anger, heartbreak, confrontation. I felt my chest tighten, a mix of rage and disbelief consuming me. I stepped closer, my voice calm but firm. "Who is he?" I asked. Not accusing, not shouting, just stating a simple fact. She stammered, trying to explain, to brush it off, but her words were hollow. The man said nothing, his posture tense, unable to offer any defense. The scene before me confirmed what I had suspected, feared in the back of my mind for months but never wanted to believe. She had been unfaithful. In my own home, in my own life, betrayal was no longer a theory. It was reality. For the next few moments, I did something I never expected. I stayed silent. I didn't yell. I didn't lash out. I simply observed. Watching them scramble, the awkward attempts to explain, the guilt flashing across her face, there was a clarity in that moment that anger could never provide. I realized something important. This betrayal wasn't about me. It was about choices she had made, a reflection of her character, not my worth. I left the room, needing space to think, to process, to decide what to do next. The ring on my finger, the life we had built together, all of it suddenly felt fragile, meaningless even. I understood then that love without trust is a hollow thing. The foundation we had relied on was gone, replaced by deception and lies. The following days were surreal. Confrontations were inevitable, but I handled them with a sense of control I didn't know I had. I asked her questions, sought explanations, and watched as her stories crumbled under the weight of truth. She tried to justify, to manipulate, to rationalize, but nothing could erase what had happened. The man, the intimacy, the betrayal, there was no undoing it. I made the difficult decision to separate immediately. Staying in that house, in that life, would mean tolerating ongoing deceit. I couldn't do it. The shock and hurt were profound, but amid the heartbreak, there was a sense of liberation. I reclaimed my space, my life, and my dignity. Friends and family were stunned when they learned the truth. Many couldn't fathom how someone so trusted could betray so thoroughly, right under my nose. But I found that explaining it to others was secondary to understanding it myself. The real revelation wasn't just her infidelity, it was what it showed me about boundaries, trust, and self-respect. In the weeks that followed, I focused on healing. I moved out, reestablished routines, and surrounded myself with people who valued honesty and integrity. The betrayal left scars, but it also left clarity. I realized that the life I thought I had was an illusion, and stepping away from it was the first step toward reclaiming reality. Looking back, that night when I found her with her legs up on the counter, laughing with someone else, is etched in my memory not just as a moment of pain, but as a moment of revelation. It revealed truths I had ignored, lessons I had avoided, and the necessity of protecting my dignity. It was a turning point, the moment everything changed, but it was also the moment I started to rebuild my life on my own terms. In the end, betrayal teaches harsh lessons, but it also gives perspective. Love, trust, and commitment are not things to be taken for granted. And sometimes, the most painful discoveries are the ones that set you free, forcing you to confront reality and choose a future that honors your self-respect above all else.